Namaste, everyone. Thank you for coming to Blissful Flow. Last week we started a chakra series. I usually do this once a year. And like I said last week, I've been waiting for 2 years, waiting for everybody to return. And we had a good 2 week going in beginning of July, where everybody was starting to come back to yoga, and then you see how it is now. So I kept getting the sign of the rainbow, things I was reading, in life, outdoors, seeing rainbows, and I just made me think of the chakras, and I thought it's time. So last week we focused all the classes on the first chakra, and I was mentioning 2020 really did a number on the first chakra, completely rocked our foundation. There were a lot of first chakra issues coming up for many, many people last year. We were also dealing with a lot of second chakra issues, and we're still dealing with second chakra issues. The second chakra is also about duality, polarity. So we see that playing out in the world around us. I think we're moving. I was talking to Allison before this class, and she senses it's entering the third now, because I was telling her my theory on it, and she was like, oh yeah, and it's entering the third now, because it's going to be dissolving more of the ego. So it'll be interesting to see how we kind of move up the chakra ladder, even through what we're experiencing on Earth. So the second chakra is moving up the ladder to the sacral area, to the lower abdominals, to the hips, to the reproductive organs. The glands are the testes and the ovaries. It's depicted by the color orange. There's a sacred mantra that goes with it, VAM. So if we're sustaining a pose in the practice, which I'm planning to do a flow, but there's a couple poses towards the end where you're going to steep in some stillness and silence. And in that case, I would like you to imagine you're breathing in an orange light, or using that mantra of VAM on repeat for the meditation. So when we're looking at second chakra, this is also trying to teach us how to move, to feel, and to yield. It's called, well, a lot of people would say when you're working with the second chakra, because of the water element, it's about being adaptable. It's about being willing to change, being fluid, and also being able to go with the flow. And that's that whole idea of let go and let God. So there is a trust that shows up in the second chakra as well. Last week with the first chakra, we were talking about it being about physical identity and group identity. And the second chakra is considered our emotional identity. We think of the third chakra as being the emotional body, because in Chinese medicine, a lot of the organs go back to different emotions. But the second chakra is considered kind of the emotional seat. So it's about pain and pleasure, sexual identity, sexual preferences. It's about one-on-one type of relationships. There's something else I wanted to say about the second chakras relationship. I lost it. It'll come back to me later, I'm sure. But with the second chakra in mind, that's what we're going to be focusing and emphasizing today in some of our postures. I decided to do a moon salutation because yesterday was a full moon in Aquarius. It's actually the second full moon in Aquarius. It was beautiful last night. I hope you got to see it. It was beautiful Friday night. Saturday, it was too cloudy to see, really. But this particular full moon, all I'm going to say about it is it's supposed to be sending us a lot of divine light codes into the right side of the brain. The right hemisphere of the brain is more intuitive and it's more creative. It's helping us to see the big picture or to gain new perspectives of things, which sounds really good to me. Let's see what happens. Oh, I wanted to start in child's pose. That's fine. So let's start in child's pose. I was looking at you, Katie, and I was like, yeah, let's start on our backs. But I remembered I wanted to start here. So you can either take regular child's pose with your arms wrapped around you, or you can extend the arms in front of you. But go ahead and start to roll gently across your brow from side to side. And you can even roll your upper body, so it's not just your head and your neck. Just shifting your weight side to side as you roll towards one temple and then to the other. Just bringing a little stimulus to the third eye. And then come to center, resting on the brow, the center, and take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. Continue taking deep sips of breath in and out through the nose. And I want you to feel the fold is stemming from your hips. And anytime we take a forward fold, and anytime we take an inversion, and child's pose is considered a very subtle inversion, this is both calming and cooling to the mind and the nervous system. I want you to be contemplative for a moment on the second chakra. Some of the traumas that can impact this energy field for years and years, unless you're really working with it to overcome it, is any type of sexual or emotional abuse or manipulation, neglect, rejection, denial of feelings, or religious severity. So if any of those checks a box for you, know that this second chakra is something you should learn more about and how to work with it in order to help to heal yourself. Look at this practice as being the healing that you need for your mind, for your body, and for your spirit. Take some deep diaphragmatic breaths, feeling the belly swell on the inhale, relax on the exhale. See if you can feel the backside of your lungs ballooning on your in-breath and deflating on the out-breath. Perhaps even feeling the wave of the breath rolling up and down alongside the spine, or up from the belly to the chest and back down. And then remember to place your emphasis on the breath throughout the practice, since the breath is truly the heart of yoga. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and begin some mindful movement. Let's extend the arms out before us. Spread out through your fingers, creating a shoulder distance between the hands. Lift your face up and look down the length of your mat. Allow the elbows to fly up. Feel that deep stretch through the underside of your arms into the pits of the arms. Feel the traction coming into your back body. And then rock up slowly to hands and knees. Curl your toes under, launch into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, look at your feet. Make sure they're just 4 to 6 inches apart between the big toes. The hands are the primary foundation here, but the feet are also part of the foundation. So make sure you're rooting down through the balls of the feet. Allow the front side of the ankles to get a lift. Allow your knees to lift in towards your quads. Allow your sits bones to stay on the rise, sliding all that energy up to the sacrum, to the second chakra region. Take one more deep breath. And then as you exhale, gently land back to your knees. When you land to your knees, align them underneath your hips and untuck your toes. root down and anchor your shins and feet. When you really anchor down through your shins and feet, you're going to find that that zips up your midriff. There's a natural occurrence of this Uddiyana Bandha coming into play. Notice if the diaphragm is working here for Uddiyana Bandha, it's also activating the diaphragm at the pelvic floor with the root lock. Keep your head lifted, lengthen through the sides of your neck. We're going to start cat-cow. So now we have to let go of that belly hugging in so that the sits bones can flare up towards the sky. Sink the belly towards the floor. Elongate the columns of the arms and lift your eyes, your nose, your chin. And then as you exhale, you're going to round out the back, beginning to drop the tailbone down, piercing the navel towards the spine, bowing your head to the chest. And then inhale again, maneuvering from the low back to the mid back, all the way into the cervical part of the neck. And then as you exhale, beginning at the base of the spine, undulating it up to the top. Good, do one more of those. The slower you go, the more meticulous you can be, trying to connect to each singular vertebra. And then on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and return to tabletop position. Curl your toes under and exhale, launch back into downward facing dog. So we're going to complete our warm up in just a moment, but let's first walk out the dog. So bending one knee. This time, instead of rooting the feet, we're sinking down to the back half and heel of the straight leg. Just awakening and activating the back of the legs. Now putting a little bit more emphasis on the calf muscles. And then begin to travel the feet slowly towards the top of the mat. Once you come to the top of the mat, go ahead and fold down into your Uttanasana. You really have to cement your feet firmly into the floor in order to activate the muscles of the kinetic chain of the legs. Feel the hinge from your hips as you bow over and down. Opening up the floodgates in this urinary bladder meridian that travels through the backside of the body. So the bladder is one of the organs. The urinary tract is being part of that, going back to the second chakra. Take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. And this affirmation is so ideal for the chakra we focused on last week, the first. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. On your next inhalation, let's press down through the soles of the feet. Let's circle the arms up overhead. Lace your fingers together at the top and then roll the palm skyward. Really root through the soles of the feet. Really lift up through your sideways, through the floating ribs, through the heel of the hands. And as you exhale, curve to your left, creating Chandrasana crescent moon. When you're curving over to the left, really bury down the right outer edge of the foot. Make sure your breath is still wide open and available. On your next in-breath, come back to the top. Exhale, start to lean to the right. Again, push down through the left foot a little bit more. Emphasizing the left side body. And on your next in-breath, gently rise back out of Chandrasana. You're going to step to the left, and I'm going to be turning this way. Step to the left, facing the stereo. So you're going to be facing that side wall. And your arms are going to be in the goddess arms. Your thighs are rolling out nice and wide. And then slowly begin to bring the fingertips down to the floor. When you bring the fingertips down to the floor, you're doing great, Katie. Your hips are lowering. I know you can't see me very well. The crown of the head's reaching towards the side wall. So what we're really doing is dropping into the second chakra area more. Thighs rolling out, hips sinking low. All right, when you're ready, inhale, fly the heels off the floor. And then exhale, lower them back down. Good, a couple more rounds. Inhale, lift up. Good, exhale, drop down. Inhale once more, lifting. Now hold and breathe. Try not to white knuckle your hands. If this is too much for you, feel free to drop back to the whole sole of the foot. Good, one more breath. Beautiful. Now lower the heels back to the floor. You're gonna spin to your right. So the right arm is gonna drape behind your back. Your left hand's gonna cross over to the right knee. The crown of your head is still reaching towards the side wall, even as you're gazing over the right shoulder. Keep the breath rolling. And then let's rotate around to the other side. Left arm threads behind, right hand to the left knee. Spine stays long. Good, exhale, unwind from the twist. Bring your arms up to Kali Goddess. Moonbeam hands, so glue the fingers together. Exhale, you're gonna lean to your left, propping onto the thigh, reaching the right arm overhead. Inhale, come through center, goddess arms. Exhale, curve over to the right. You got it. Now, this is the new flow. Inhale through center, exhale left. Good, inhale through center, exhale to the other. Good again. This is the last set. I know my hips and thighs are burning too. Good, now inhale, come back through center. Turn your heels back behind your toes, straightening out your legs, straightening out your arms. Basically like a 5-point star. Good, when you're ready, rotate your right foot towards the front of your mat. And as you exhale, lunge the right knee, take warrior 2. So if you need a wider stance with your feet, go ahead and slide one or the other out. Reach the arms out so they're radiating from shoulder height. And then flip your palms open. Good, on your in-breath, you're gonna straighten the right leg, fly the arms up to frame the face. Exhale, come back, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the right leg, lift the arms up. Exhale, return to warrior 2. All right, do one more. Inhale and exhale. Look down the front fingertips. Keep the right thigh rolling open so you can see the big toe. Keep the belly lifting up, heart lifting up, shoulder softening down the back. On your next inhalation, we're going to straighten the front leg, lift the right arm skyward, left hand hangs back. This is like old school triangle. Exhale to modern triangle. Windmilling the right hand down to the shin. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Go nice and slow, rhythmic breathing. Inhaling, old school triangle. Exhale, modern triangle. Again, inhaling. Exhaling, Trikonasana. Pausing and holding here. Make sure you're opening up space for the diaphragm muscle just below your ribs. That's an area we tend to kind of contract and hide away. Squeeze through the right side of the buttocks, slightly tucking it under. Inhale, come back up. Lunge the front knee again. Flip your right hand. Take side warrior. Exhale, side angle, propping to the knee. This is our new flow. Inhale, side warrior. Notice the lower body should stabilize, and the fluidity and mobility is from the waist up. The next time you come down, bring your hands to frame the front foot, straighten out the right leg, and turn away from the back heel. And this is where you may need blocks. Because when you start to straighten the right leg, the hips and the hamstrings tend to be tighter earlier in the day. So you may or may not need blocks here. Take these. When you're resting on your hands, make sure that they don't have a death grip on the blocks if you're choosing to use them. And then rotate your left hip towards your right foot. Once you rotate your left hip towards your right foot, the hips are more square. That's where we need to be for the next flow. So on the exhalation, we lunge the knee, stack it over the ankle, look forward and out with your eyes. And then as you inhale, you're gonna back the hips up, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, relunge the knee. Good, we're doing that a couple more rounds. Inhale. And exhale. Well, I told you a variation of the moon sow. It's not exactly, or technically the moon sow, but it's taking the concept of it. Once you lunge the knee, you're gonna plant your left hand. Feel free to use a block or the floor. We're gonna move to the outer edges of both feet. So if you slide the right foot back a few inches and roll to the knife edge of the foot, this is what's called a soma lunge. And soma represents the nectar of the moon. Good, one more deep breath. As you exhale, you're gonna bring the hand down. You're gonna turn back to the sole of the right foot. Slide it up alongside your right hand. And we usually do this with dragon dance. It looks like this. It looks like chaturanga arms. We drop like chaturanga, but we turn the face to the right. And then inhale, straighten the arms, lift your heart back up. Exhale, sink low like chaturanga, turn the face to the right. Good, inhale, face to center as you straighten the arms. Do that just a couple more times. Dipping down on your out breath and rising up on your in breath. Good, this time you're gonna rotate your right foot towards the corner of the mat. You're gonna lower down to the sole of the left foot. You're in Skandasana, facing cave. It's the side lunge, so rotate your right foot towards the corner of the mat. Yes, perfect, yes. Now, instead of having your torso and hands towards your right foot, separate your hands away from the foot and make sure that there's space between your waistline and your inner thigh. Good, now walk it back over, Skandasana to the left foot. The left toes turn to face the corner of the mat as well. Good, one more deep breath. When we walk back over towards the right foot, we're gonna change it up to a half Malasana, meaning we lift the right heel, sit in its direction, and flip the left foot. The hands can help you to balance. You have an option to stay as you are. There's a secondary option where you can walk the hands over to frame the straight leg, twisting your navel that direction and bowing down. You don't have to take that variation. See what feels good to your body. Don't be discouraged if your body's not willing to adapt right away. Now gently walk your hands back around Slide your left foot in and your right foot in for a Malasana Squat. Hands to prayer position at the heart. If your block is close by, if you need to sit on the block to make it more restorative, that's okay. Lift up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes and breathe. So while you're here, closing the eyes, gazing into the mind's eye, I want to share with you, if you're ever feeling really disconnected or off or blocked in your second chakra, you can use certain crystals like quartz, tiger's eye, orange calcite, orange carnelian, certain stones like that to help. You can also use essential oils like sandalwood, patchouli, orange, tangerine, to name a few. Now, let your hands come back to the floor. Slowly begin to heel toe the feet apart as you straighten out through your legs. We're going to take Prasarita Padottanasana, so you're folding, hinging from the hips, walking your hands back to be more in line with the arches of the feet. So the crown of the head can face the floor. If headstand is in your practice and you want to scissor the legs up for Shasana 2, you can take that position. Otherwise, you can just keep both feet on the ground. Either way, you're getting the benefits of being inverted. If you're still in headstand, you can slowly exit down. Take your time. Walk the hands forward and then lift the heart up. Shift the weight towards the toes. Draw the navel in. Place your hands to your hips and slowly start to rise up. Once you rise to stand, your right foot will turn to face the front. You'll step all the way to the top of the mat, grounding your feet, lifting the arms up, lacing the hands together, flipping the palms skyward. From here, exhale, you're going to curve to the right. Inhale, coming up to the top, and exhale over to the left. I'm saving more of our second chakra affirmations for Shavasana. Inhale, come up to the top. Exhale, this time we're going to step off to the right. Now we're going to face Jen. Arms are going to be in the goddess formation. Moving hands to glue the fingers together today. All right, from here, we're starting off the same way we did before. So tip forward, bring your fingertips down. Good, and just pause here. And then we'll start to inhale, lift the heels. And then exhale, drop them down. Twice more. Inhale, shift and lift. Good. Exhale, rock and roll back. Third round, we're going to lift and hold. Try not to white knuckle the fingers. The weight is more in the feet. The energy is erupting in the hips. One more deep breath. Good. Now lower the feet back to the floor. We're going to come up. We're changing the flow. Come back up to Kali Goddess. Create your goddess arms. And all you're going to do, Jen, is tip the fingertips down towards the floor, like scarecrow arms. Or at least I think of a scarecrow with these arms. Good. We're working the shoulders now. Inhale, lift the fingertips skyward. Exhale, slowly lower them down. Good. Continue this. This is very therapeutic for the shoulders. All right, inhale back to Kali Goddess. Exhale, create your resistance, contract your triceps and biceps, pulling the forearms together through center. And then inhale, you're gonna open up the gates to your heart. Good, exhale, contract and squeeze. Good, inhale, swing the gate open. One more. Inhale, open it up. All right, we're gonna bring the arms overhead, and you may wanna look at me just a moment, Jen. The back of the hands are gonna come together. It's a really pretty shape. Yeah, and then as you exhale, you're gonna bring the arms to sweep down and cross them at the bottom. You got it. And then inhale when you come up, cross the hands the other way, back of the hands together. Good. Exhale, come down, crisscross the arms the opposite way. This is our new flow. Hello, hips. I don't know, I'm really feeling it. I'm shaking in my legs. You guys look so calm and poised and deep. I'm quivering. Just one more to each side. Last crossing at the bottom. And then thank goodness you can stay down, hands down. Turn your feet to be parallel, straighten your legs. And oh, what a relief it is. So coming into Prasarita Padottanasana just long enough to take a hold of your hips and inhale, rise back to the top. Good. When you rise back up to the top, turn your left foot 90 degrees. Lift your arms up, shoulder height. Exhale, lunge the left knee, warrior two. Okay, make sure you're not lunging through your waist. And flip your palms. Inhale, you can look at the front door as you lift the arms and straighten the front leg. Exhale, you're welcome to turn your head to face the front when you return to warrior two. This is our new flow. Total attention to breath, and the mechanics of the body follow. Good. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the left arm, old school triangle. Exhale, modern. Continue this flow. Really root your feet, depend on your legs. And let the fluidity flow at the top. Holding this triangle. Feel as though that right hand's like an antenna. You know, I've been mentioning new light codes coming down with all this astrological alignment that's happening in the skies right now. I think we're going to have 6 planets in retrograde coming up. So for the next couple of weeks, really try to bring in the light. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, re-lunge the front knee. Flip your left palm, reverse the warrior. And then flow to side angle. You can do any form of these expressions in side angle. I'm keeping it simple. Full moon can be fierce. One more. Now on the next one, come up to that reverse warrior. But on the exhale, we're going to take the hands to the floor, spin away from the back heel, straightening out the front leg. And this is where we can feel the IT band. Look at your back toes, make sure they're pointed towards your face. Roll the right hip towards your left foot in front. Now lunge the knee. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, come back to the low lunge. And just work with your breath. Last one. Heel toe the left foot over a little bit. I'm going to change up the flow because I feel like this would work better before we go into the Tumble Lunge. So when you start to drop and dip, turn your face to your left. Inhale, straighten up the arms, lift the chest. Exhale, drop and hover. 3 more. Feel free to use Ujjayi breath. Now we'll move into that Tumble Lunge. So go ahead and lift. You can slide your left foot back, roll to the outer edges of the feet. Fly the left arm skyward. Exhale, turn back to the balls of the feet. Bring the hands to the inside of the left foot because now we're going to spin back towards Jen, Skandasana. Walk your hands and waist away from the inner left thigh. Keep that rolled open. And then walk it back to the right knee. Good. When you return to the left side, this is where we're going to lift the heel. Take half Malasana Squats. Choose to stay here using your hands to help balance or travel them to frame the straight leg. You have choices. Find the one that's most appropriate today. Honor your limitations. Now flow the hands back through. Draw the feet a little closer together for squat Malasana. This time we're going to be more yin. So slide your elbows down, bow your head to prayer hands. Where you're feeling heavy through your hips and through the low back. Picture all that aglow with brilliant, bright orange. You prefer mantras to meditate on? The seed mantra for this chakra is Vam. Vam. All right, we're going to bring the hand back down. Heel toe the feet apart. Returning to Prasarita, Padottanasana. We're doing the A version, which means the arms are creating that shell. Triceps engaged to keep the arms parallel. And then if your head easily comes to create contact to the floor, make sure you can see the fingertips. And if you want to lift to Shavasana 2, feel free. I'm not feeling it today, but if you are, go for it. Smooth out your breaths. And walk and travel the fingertips forward, lift the head up. Hands to the waist as you rise to the top. The left foot's going to rotate to face the front. We'll step up to the top of the mat. Return the hands together to prayer. Inhale, let your arms reach overhead. And then exhale, swan dive down, Uttanasana. From Uttanasana, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, take your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to up dog. Exhale, roll back to down dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, establish yourself here. Find the blend of effort and ease. Inhale, lift your left leg. Strike downward scorpion. As you inhale, unroll the hips. As you exhale, bring that shin just behind the hands for pigeon. Right leg will slide on back. When you're ready, lower. So you can imagine Wednesday, when we come back together, we're gonna have more of a yin-yang kind of practice. We can steepen some poses a little bit longer. Here directly towards this energy center. So remember this term chakra means disc or wheel. If you want to imagine a disc of orange light spinning clockwise, where you're feeling the result of the pose, move it into that region. Sense, taste. Notice if there's tension in or around your mouth. Try to let it go. Perhaps taking the tongue towards the upper palate of the mouth behind the two top teeth. You may have noticed when we get deep in meditation, this is where the tongue naturally goes. So you can set it there. Let's flatten your hands, curl the back toes, and at first take it to downward facing dog. Soar the sits bones up and away. Bow the head between the arms. Feel that flush of the energy from your left hip. If you want a vinyasa, feel free to rock forward to plank if you can go through those motions. Otherwise, you can stay in down dog. I got one more side. Pigeon. Once you return to down dog, fly the right leg up. Open up to downward scorpion. Unroll the hips from there. Take the shin to the top of the mat. Slide or glide your left leg back. When you're ready to fold. On down. This is meant to be more of a passive approach. So scan through your body. Soften any muscular activity. Unless it's your arms propping you up. I would promote longer, slower exhalations. Up and down that palms. You're going to lean onto your right hip. And as your left knee slides up towards your right foot will slide up a little bit too. Kind of like a half pigeon. Just for you guys at home, it looks like this from these different sides. Okay, so I'm going to join you guys in this position so I don't confuse you. So from this position, we're going to go into what's called wheel of life twist. So as you inhale, lift up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, you're going to start to spin to face the front door. And you're going to walk your hands out in the same direction you're facing and come down to forearms. So personally, I'm preferencing this just because of the low back stuff that I have going on, because this feels like it's working with it. But there's another way to do it, and it's lovely. I just know I need this more, which is spreading the arms out in an L shape and coming down to one cheek. So you can explore the two options to see which you preference. Close your eyes. So I know you've all seen like an old-timey clock, like if you look inside of it, it has all these different wheels ticking together, working in cooperation together in order to keep the time. And that's the way I want you to look at your chakra system. Twist help to activate all 7. But if one becomes stagnant or stuck, then it's inevitably going to affect 1, 2, or more above or below it. I would suggest even breaths in the twist. Your arms are stretched out, bring them back. And everyone's going to inhale. Come on. And then we can just reverse that positioning, kind of like a half pigeon with the left foot in the lead. You're going to turn to your left, walk the forearms out first. See how that feels. And then if you want to stretch out your arms and pour down to one cheek, you may. So if you weren't here last week, I'll share again. Last year, with the first chakra being so heavily impacted, my low back started hurting. And some days yoga would help, and some days yoga would make it worse. And I dealt with it for like 6 months until I finally started to go to a chiropractor. And he said my whole pelvis was twisted, and it was upsetting one of my SI joints. So just kind of be reflective about where issues are cropping up in your body as of late. And wherever the location is, will give you a good indication of what chakra it is. And then you can do more self-study and implement some of this work in order to help yourself. Breath, slide your hands closer to you. Go ahead and walk it up. Now, if you still have your blocks, and you don't have to use blocks, you could use a bolster if you have a preference for a bolster. Our twist is going to be our final active pose. So if you want to prepare for Shavasana, you can take a bolster under your thighs. You can take blocks under your thighs. If you're done with hips, because I just did this, I'm like, wow. You can tell we worked the hips today. If you're done with that, you can straighten out your legs. So, good. I'm going to change the music for Shavasana. I'm going to change the music to some sound meditation. It's geared around the note D, specifically for this sacral center. So feel free to listen and to absorb these sounds. When we are energetically deficient in this area, we are more rigid. We can be emotionally or comfortably numb. We can deny pleasure, be fearful of change, or have a lack of desire, passion, or poor social skills. When we are excessive energetically, it could lead to sexual addiction, bipolar disorder, oversensitivity, poor boundaries, dependency, and excessive attachments. So you can see where we want to find balance and harmony so that we're not extreme going in either of these directions. So I want you to invite some affirmations, and when I repeat them, you can say them over again in your mind. I have the right to feel. I deserve to have pleasure in my life. I create and abide by healthy boundaries. I have the right for my sexuality to be sacred. I have the right to nurture myself. And I have the ability to change. Next in breath, slowly begin to flutter the knees back together. Bring both in towards the heart and wrap your arms lovingly around. Just pausing here in Affirmations. Gently rolling over to one side of the body. Coming up to take a more formal sleep. Sit with your palms open, your eyes closed. In our practice today, chanting Vam together. A deep breath in. Vam. Your hands to join together. The light in me honors and bows respectfully to the radiant light in each and